Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch. Sisters who watch.
The Fall Guy.
Hey, y'all, hey. Welcome
Hello.
to Sisters Who Watch.
I'm Shelby.
And I'm Laura. And we're sisters who watch everything. TV, movies, sports, concerts, and even Ryan Gosling breaking his back.
Who would have thought?
Watch. And we love talking about it even more. Today we're watching
The Fall Guy. David Leitch's original action rom-com film. Ooh.
Yes. And before we get into it, Shelby, let's model what we're wearing. We're wearing SWW official merch. I'm wearing our cropped hoodie. Shelby's wearing our crop top. Super
so cute, y'all.
These are my two favorite purchases from our store for sure. Just go to our website, sisterswhowatch.com, go to the shop tab, and then you'll find all our wonderful merch. It's really nice, like high quality stuff, I promise. And make sure you're giving us 5 stars on all social media platforms. And yeah, giving us a follow. And just go support us. Show us some love. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, all at Sisters Who Watch. Thank you, guys.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate y'all. So let's dive in to the background for The Fall Guy. As always, we're going to read the log line for the title. After leaving the business 1 year earlier, battle-scarred stuntman Colt Seavers springs back into action when the star of a big studio movie suddenly disappears. As the mystery surrounding the missing actor deepens, Colt soon finds himself ensnared in a sinister plot that pushes him to the edge of a fall more dangerous than any stunt. I will say, action isn't always my thing, but I was intrigued by this film, and honestly, because of Ryan Gosling, I decided to see it. And Laura did mention in our worst content episode that Fast X is one of her worst ones. So listen to that episode too.
Yes, very true. Yeah. So like you said, Ryan Gosling, star of the movie. I feel like he's everywhere these days. I feel like this cast was pretty stacked. Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, he's blowing up. Hannah Waddingham from Ted Lasso, she was there. Winston Duke, who was in Black Panther and Baku, iconic, and who was in Us, right?
Yes.
And Stephanie Sue, who was in Everything
Everywhere, all at once.
And Joyride. So lots of fun people
in the lot.
Cast. Yeah.
I thought it was a well-cast film. It's directed by David Leitch, who had directed Bullet Train, which you saw, right, Laura?
I did. And if you listen to our worst content of 2022 list, throwback, that's from over a year ago. Go check out that episode. I mentioned Bullet Train because I saw it and I did not particularly love it. But, I think this is a great comeback for Mr. David Leitch. Big upgrade from Bullet Train, in my opinion. Yes.
I never saw it, but clearly a proven, action director.
Yes.
And he actually is a former stuntman, which is so cool because this movie, The Fall Guy, is all about Ryan Gosling, who plays a stunt double. And I love how it's just giving stunt people their flowers because I feel like it's kind of like an undersung hero in movies, right? You never think of the stunt double when you're watching action sequences. At least I don't.
How well did it do opening weekend?
So opening weekend domestically, it did about $28 million, which below expectations. The expectations they were saying were like 30 to 35, which I even thought was kind of low. Like this is a action thriller movie with 2 movie stars and Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. So I think right now it has underperformed, but let's see. Hopefully it has some legs.
It was really creative and original. It was based on like an 80s TV show called The Fall Guy. And there was a cameo from the original actor from the show in the movie.
When was that cameo?
It was like towards the end where like the older guy comes in. I was like, I'm a cop. And I was like, am I supposed to know who that is?
In my theater, people cheered and I was like, I just thought it was I don't know. I didn't, guess I didn't care enough to look it up. Got it.
Yes,
That's
that's
helpful.
the original, like, Ryan Gosling character, I
Oh.
believe. Shelby, what were your expectations coming into the Fall Guy?
Well, like I mentioned briefly, I was not planning to see it initially, but honestly, after watching Ryan Gosling sing I'm Just Ken live at the Oscars, I just have become such a fan.
Yeah.
And then seeing him and Emily Blunt do a lot of their press and even joke at the Oscars, and they were on SNL, like, it kind of got me in. I'm not going to lie. The marketing, they were on that press tour, Ryan Gosling, his charisma, it got me into it. And right, continuing on that kind of Barbenheimer crossover with Emily Blunt and Oppenheimer and Ryan Gosling from Barbie, like, it worked perfectly. They were able to just ride that gravy train all the way to the Fall Guy premiere.
Yeah, I agree. Very smart to, play on Barbenheimer. And yeah, there are ads everywhere. I feel like I've been seeing lots of commercials, ads all over LA. So, yeah, I originally wasn't planning on seeing it either, but I'm glad I did. Okay. What were some of your favorite moments from the Fall Guy?
I was really impressed by the action sequences.
Yes.
In particular, the scene on the Sydney Harbor at night when Ryan Gosling is escaping from Aaron Taylor Johnson's goons and security team.
Yeah.
And he's like about to be set on fire and tricks them by blowing gasoline onto them so they get caught on fire. He loosens from his chair, still has his hands cuffed, jumps into the water, gets into a boat, and is driving a boat with his hands cuffed all around the Sydney Harbor while talking to Emily Blunt and telling her that he cares for her still. And then he does like a Miami Vice-esque scene and like fakes his death by driving the boat into like explosives. I mean, as I recount it, it sounds crazy. What was your favorite?
I really liked when Ryan Gosling goes and visits Stephanie Sue, the assistant,
Yes.
Alma, and he's like, hey, like, where's the phone? Where's the dog? Right? Like, she's dealing with Tom Ryder's dog. And, I love the dog, too. The dog was
oh my
so
gosh.
funny.
The dog was great.
Right?
He was French and only took French commands. Jean-Claude. Was that his name?
Yes. Jean-Claude the dog, iconic. And I loved how, yeah, Ryan Gosling was with Stephanie Sue, and then the goons find him, and they're like and the goons are chasing Ryan Gosling and Stephanie Sue, and they're in this like huge truck, like this trash pick truck, and Ryan Gosling is like dangling off the end of it, and then like the big bin on the truck falls onto the ground, is hanging on it by a thread, and Ryan Gosling and the goon are like fighting each other while the bin is like spinning around the street.
Crazy.
That was really insane. That was a good scene. The dog is like fighting the other goons in the truck. It's like, how's the dog doing this?
That they would command him to like bite the balls of the bad guys. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that reminded me of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Remember the dog like attacked all those people in the end. Got him. Yeah.
Hey, don't play with Jean-Claude.
No, I was surprised at how funny the movie was. Like, I was expecting, like an action type thing, but it was really funny. And I feel like the people in my theater, hot crowd, like they were cracking up at everything. And I really like the moment when Emily Blunt is directing Colt, Ryan Gosling, and they're like having this heart to heart in the middle of the scene and in front of everyone via bullhorns. And she was like, Colt, like, what do you think of, the characters? And how would you react if, if one of the characters ghosted each other, and they're trying to communicate, basically playing out their scenario that happens. Like, Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling, they met on a different set of a movie, and they had like a fling, they dated, and then after an injury, Ryan Gosling had on set, he like completely ghosted Emily Blunt's character.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, oh, like what would you do if you just ceased communication completely with someone that you were interested in? And then
everyone on set was like looking around like, ooh, is she talking about them?
I don't think they're talking about the aliens in the movie. The stunt that Ryan Gosling was doing was being set on fire over and over again and being thrown into a rock. And she was like,
Hilarious.
again, like basically torturing him. And that was really funny. So I like that scene.
Maybe unethical, but funny.
Yeah, I was like, is this?
And abuse of power on a set? I'm like,
I know.
Do we need to call HR?
Right. I also thought that. I was like, is this okay? Like, I was like, oh. And one of the producers on set was like, hey, like, we need to wrap this scene up. Like,
yeah, I think it was like the assistant director. And she was like, no, again. I was like, ooh.
And I must say, this movie had so many twists and turns. Like, you didn't know what was going to happen. It was like a rom-com, an action movie, and a murder mystery.
Mm-hmm. I know. It was like giving Knives Out at points. I was like...
Yes. So basically, Hannah Waddingham plays Tom Ryder's manager. Producer, yes. And Tom goes missing on set. And quote, this is what she tells Ryan Gosling. And she's like, I need you to come to Australia on this movie. Like, we don't have a stunt man. Like, we need you to come ASAP. And he was like, I don't want to go. And she was like, Emily Blunt will be there. And he knew, right, that he had a thing for her. So he flies to Australia on a whim, like a day after. Mm-hmm. And he finds out that Emily Blunt didn't even know he was coming, didn't want him there. That Hannah Waddingham played him the whole time. Yeah, it was a whole plot devised by Hannah Waddingham and Tom Ryder to cover up a murder.
Crazy. So basically, after Colt's fall the previous year on set, they moved on quickly to find a different stunt double for Tom on his next movie. And Tom is partying with this new stunt double, and the stunt double says, you don't do your own stunts, or something like that. And Tom, like the macho actor he is, gets really upset. Like, what do you mean by that? Even though he doesn't do all his own stunts because he does have stunt doubles. So I don't know why he was so upset. And, you know, like the macho man he is, to like show he does do his own stunts, he decides to fight his current stunt double at this party where they're all drunk, and he fights him so hard and kicks him so hard that he hits his head on like a couch or table and dies. And it's caught on someone's camera. It's on video.
Crazy.
So Gail, played by Hannah Waddingham, you know, the producer, goes into crisis management mode. Like, how do we fix this for Tom Ryder? Because he's the star, you know?
Right.
So they devise this plot to bring Ryan Gosling in, pretend he'll be the new stunt double, but really so they can get his face and then put his face onto the video to incriminate him and to set him up for the murder of the other stunt double, and then have him commit suicide so there won't be any loose ends.
Oh my gosh, these people are evil. Like, they brought Ryan Gosling here to put a murder on him and to have him die. Like, what? That is so disturbing.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was so bad. And it just shows, like, oh my gosh, people will do so much.
Anything
to protect.
To save themselves.
Yeah.
And to keep their coin.
Yeah,
like,
stay relevant.
Gail was like, Tom is my cash cow. If Tom goes down, I go down.
We've talked about AI in quite a bit of our episodes. I love how Ryan Gosling, he was like, they deep faked me. Because they took, like, they scanned his face, you know, for the role to be a stunt double. Because I guess they do that in movies. They'll put the actor's face on the stunt double's face so that it looks like the actors you know, doing all the stunts. But they use that to put it on the video of the murder. And then they're showing that, like, on the news, and they were like, man wanted. And they show like Ryan Gosling's face on Australia news. Yeah, that was like really, really crazy. So finding that out in the end was so wild. I was not expecting any of that to happen. And I really love the final fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how, so Ryan Gosling shows up. Everyone thinks he's dead because he, exploded in this boat crash.
Mm-hmm.
But he shows up to Emily Blunt and was like, I'm alive, I'm alive. And they come up with this plan to set Tom up and to record him confessing.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. It works. So they put Tom in this car, they handcuff him, and Ryan Gosling just does this crazy stunt, and he flies off this cliff, and Tom is losing his mind, and he confesses and is like, okay, fine, like, I did it, I was trying to protect myself, your collateral damage. And he also admits that he was responsible for Ryan Gosling's injury. I could not believe.
Devastating. Because Ryan thought, oh, I must have mistimed the stunt. I pressed the button at the wrong time, which led to me, getting hurt. But no, Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, Tom, who's just the pure villain, was like, no, I was trying to spice it up. I was trying to show you a lesson by almost killing him.
He literally could have died. Like, you want to teach him a lesson? Get out. Yeah, this guy's...
Oh, he's psycho.
Yeah, not well. Absolutely not well. But I did love that final scene, and then Hannah Waddingham is like threatening the sound guy, being like, give me the recording of the confession, give it to me. And then they're like fighting to grab the recording and the helicopter. It was wild. It was a really good like final action scene.
Yes. And it was a lot of full circle moments, because Winston Duke's character, who had kind of been beaten up by the goons, he finally got payback at them in the end, and they used some like stunt props and stuff to mess with them, and finally Ryan Gosling gets the recording, jumps out of the helicopter that they were trying to get away in, and lands in a big like parachute thingy.
Yeah,
I don't know the actual term, but I thought that was cute. And then Emily Blunt jumps up to like be with him, like, oh my gosh, we did it. And the whole time she's kind of directing it. Like, it was like a big full circle moment.
Yes.
I'm curious though, Laura, what do you think about Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt's relationship? Did you think they had chemistry? Did you buy it?
That's a good question. I was not buying their chemistry. Like, they seem like good friends. Like, I wasn't seeing the romantic connection. How about you?
100% aligned.
Yeah, it was a little awkward.
I was shocked at how much more romantic the movie was than I anticipated. And I think when you're stars at their level, if you want to do a movie and you're offered a movie, you're not going to like chemistry read or test. Like,
no.
Emily Blunt and Ryan Gosling will get the movie. They're not going to audition. But I'm honestly like, it probably would have been better to just see if they had romantic chemistry beforehand, because I just didn't buy it. I feel like if I have any critique of the film, if they had had stronger chemistry, I would have believed it more.
Yeah, I agree. Something else that they were selling and I was not buying. I feel like Emily Blunt, like, is she an action star? No. I mean, also, I haven't seen A Quiet Place, so maybe she's, like, really good in that, but I wasn't buying, like, her and all the fight scenes, like, I was not buying it.
Or she's been in action movies. She was in Edge of Darkness with Tom Cruise.
Oh, I don't remember that movie.
Is Jungle Cruise action, or is that...
That's more like adventure. That's like...
Well, it's like action adventure. She was in Sicario. She's been in thrillers like Girl on the Train.
Okay,
Quiet Place. She does
yes. Okay.
have like action thriller, experience.
Yes. I see. Like, I haven't seen A Quiet Place. I haven't seen,
That's crazy. You should see that.
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know. In the movie, when she was doing all the stunts and stuff, I was like, I don't know. I wasn't buying it.
It did seem out of the blue for her character that she was fighting like that. Yeah, I will say that. Yeah.
Like, she's a director. Why does she know how to, like, drop kick? Mm-hmm. Right? Like,
that seems strange.
What least favorite moments did you have?
The all too well moment in the car with Colt. I'm not really like into Taylor Swift like that, so I was like, I didn't feel emotional beats. Like maybe if I liked the song, I'd get why Ryan Gosling was crying listening to it, but I just thought it was kind of funny. Like I didn't feel emotional while
Yeah.
watching that scene.
Right.
And it also made me question, what was the music budget for this movie? You got a Taylor Swift song, you also got a DJ Khaled song, All I Do Is Win. I'm like, you
Right.
guys probably spent too much on music. I don't think that, I personally, if that had been All Too Well or like a song from the 80s, would I have cared?
Yeah.
Probably not,
No.
Like I don't know if that was so necessary for that scene.
I think the movie was supposed to kind of be like an over-the-top corny action movie, but I think that was the point of it.
They're poking fun at it, yeah.
Right. But there were some points where I was just too much. Like, for example, they played.
Woo! I feel like I'm like in Mission Impossible or Top Gun, like driving a car on the freeway.
They kept them playing this song throughout the movie. It was a score. It was too much. Okay. But yeah, it felt like they were playing that song every like 10 minutes in the movie, and I was like, why are they playing this Kiss song? I didn't know the song. I Was Made for Loving You by Kiss. But
that's a Kiss song?
Yeah.
News to me.
Right, so the budget, but I was
They spent way too much.
Yeah. Oof. The music was a little over the top for me. I'll say that. A little cheesy.
Wait, Laura. Now they really spent a lot on the music. Wow. And right? I don't think it was necessary. I think it's different if it felt like it delivered and made sense in the movie, but it was honestly like distracting.
Onto our categories.
Category time.
Who or what from The Fall Guy did you love to hate?
I'm a rom-com girly. And I guess for me, it's like the romantic beats.
Yeah, they seem like best friends. They seem like really good friends.
But clearly they have connection, but I don't know if it's a romantic connection.
No. I hate to hate. I have for this category, of course, Alan Taylor-Johnson, Tom Ryder, who was just like evil, like so devious, like pinning his. I mean, of course, the ego itself is enough, but he literally murdered someone, and he covered up the murder, hired, had all these goons do his dirty work for him, and planned to kill Ryan Gosling. Like
after he set him up to die.
Yes, after he sabotaged Ryan Gosling and broke his back.
And never apologized. He sent prayer hand emojis.
Yeah, same with Hannah Waddingham's character, Gail. Like, her and Tom go hand in hand. Like, they were both so devious.
I know.
They worked together to set up Ryan Gosling and to pin this murder-suicide on him. And they, no remorse. Like, they were running away. They were, trying to destroy the evidence, the recording that Ryan and Emily got. Yeah, both of them were just so devious. Such devious villains.
And it felt like to me that Gail was worst because Tom said, oh, it was all Gail's idea, which I believe. Tom seems like a clown.
Yeah,
what does Tom know, right? And so it's so devious to me that Gail would orchestrate this.
She clearly was the mastermind behind all of this.
Mm-hmm. The scene when she tells Emily Blunt, oh, yeah, he left. You didn't know? It's like, Hannah, you're the one that gave him the ticket and are, what are you talking about? Stop. It was so bad.
Yeah, she's insane. Yeah. So, and like you said, for Love to Love, we have Ryan Gosling, Colt, and Emily Blunt, Jodie, who, were the heroes of the story. Mm-hmm. They overtook the villains, and the two of them set up a plan, okay, we're gonna do this crazy stunt with Tom, we're gonna get his confession, and then we're gonna get it to the police. And they had a really great plan that they came up with, and they got the whole crew on board. Yeah, they were really good protagonists, I'd say.
With this, he showed like more personality. Like have you seen like Blade Runner that he was in, or Drive, like some of his other movies, even that Netflix movie that I saw only because I worked there. What was it?
Red Notice?
No, not Red Notice. No. Similar. The fact that we can't remember the name. Yikes! Gray Man. Did you see that?
Oh, no.
So in all of these, I feel like action movies Ryan's usually in, he's like the stoic, just does his job and doesn't have a lot of personality. And with this, I felt like he was able to bring little Ken. I was like, yes.
I felt the same thing. I was like, Ryan Gosling is just Ken. He's action figure Ken. That's what this was giving. As he should. Yes. Like, he was so funny. He was goofy, but he was still, this like action star. He was giving Ken.
He was giving Ken. Action figure Ken should have been what they called his character. I think that's
instead of
great.
Colt Seavers.
Yeah, because I can barely remember that. Just call him action figure Ken. I think that rolls off the tongue.
I agree.
Oh my gosh. Does that make Emily Blunt Barbie?
Director Barbie. There we go.
I can't. Action figure Ken and director Barbie save the day.
That's what the movie should have been called.
Wow.
Action figure Ken and director Barbie.
Would have probably done better at the box office.
It would not have underperformed if it was called that. We've been saying this every episode. Make us producers. We give great ideas. We can hire us, please.
Jean-Claude, I think, has to be in Love to Love, our favorite French dog. Just the fact that he only took commands in French, and Ryan Gosling knew French and just would talk to him in French and command him in French. I thought was so funny. I was more into the Jean-Claude and Colt relationship than Colt and Jodie. Yikes.
Oh. Yikes. I mean, I agree. They had more chemistry. Yikes.
Similar to like a Hidden Figures, not exactly, but it felt like the whole purpose of this movie was to give stunt men and women, people, their flowers. Part of this movie and the press has been to try and get the Oscars to create an Academy Award for stunts, because there isn't one. So there's been a lot of talk about, hopefully after this movie and the talk about it, they'll create a Stunts Academy Award. And have you been seeing all the stunts that Ryan's been doing at the premiere and on the press tours? Like at, I think it was Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, he did a stunt. Like, it was just really funny seeing all the stunts. And then actually inside the NBA, I watch, NBA. They did, to promote the Fall Guy, like a funny stunt scene where they would all practice breaking chairs on each other's backs and like throwing bottles on each other's heads.
I can't.
Man, the Fall Guy marketing team really working hard. Working hard.
Good for that. It's work. I mean, I guess it's not working.
Fingers crossed. Hey, it worked on us, but we'll see if it works on other people.
Okay, are you ready for our game? Red flag, green flag. 1, 2, 3.
Game time. Yes.
Okay. Is it a red flag to ghost someone you're interested in, even if you're going through a tough time? Kind of like Ryan Gosling and his injury.
Yes, I think it's important to communicate. I will say, though, like, in Ryan Gosling's case, he had a really bad fall on, like, a set and had to, like, have surgeries and bed rest, be nursed back to health. So I'm not shocked he was not mentally in a place where he wanted to talk to like a girl he used to like. He probably was like, well, she still like me. I'm not the same person I was. Like, I've changed. Like, he probably was in his head. Part of me was like, should Emily be giving Ryan more grace? Like, he had like a life altering experience and almost died. And just because he didn't like text or call you back, you're like so mad at him. But I think the fact that they did have like a pretty strong relationship and were supposed to go on dates right when it all happened, I can see why she was upset, and I can see why she would expect him to respond. Regardless, it is a red flag. Laura, question for you. Is it a green flag to drop everything for a job opportunity? Like Ryan did.
Yeah. He got a phone call being like, "Can you be in Australia?" And he was like, "Yeah." Is it a green flag? Drop everything? I think it really depends on the job opportunity. I don't know if it's a green flag. I think it's shades of green. Because it's like, did he do any like, it felt like he was just like, yes, like
he just heard Jodie's there, I'm gonna go.
Yes, Jodie's there, I'm gonna go. So I think in that situation, no, it's not a green flag. Like, and valid. Like, she was setting you up for a murder, bro. Like, that was not. You didn't.
They weren't the best bosses before, right? They barely were there for you on set. Didn't really chicken on you after your accident. Like,
they treated you like garbage, and now out of the blue, they're calling you, being like, "Are you available?" Like that's sus, right? Mm-hmm. So that situation, probably a red flag. Okay, so is The Fall Guy a wait or watch?
I think it's a watch. Again, didn't expect to see it or like it, but now that I have, I really enjoyed it. Original concept, funny, romantic, thrilling, dramatic, action-packed, good acting, twists and turns. It really had it all. It impressed me. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't really have many expectations, and I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was good. It was entertaining, funny. It was funnier than I expected. Yeah, go see it. Onto our What to Watch segment. What do we got to look out for?
There's this project called Project Hail Mary. Don't really know much about it, but it's based on a science fiction novel, so I guess it's like, yeah, some kind of like sci-fi movie. So Gosling sang in this kind of action lane. Good for him. It's directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who did like the Lego movie and have produced Spider-Verse. So they are like known in those lanes. So I think the auspices are strong. So hopefully, that does well. And then Emily Blunt is doing a Jungle Cruise too.
I'll be running to the theater to see that.
And I haven't finished the episode, but I saw clips about it. Ryan Gosling hosted SNL in anticipation of The Fall Guy. He and Emily Blunt did a rendition of All Too Well in the monologue. Now that I've seen the movie, I get why.
Well, if you enjoyed our review of The Fall Guy and this episode of Sisters Who Watch, make sure to give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever, give us 5 stars, please. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all of our social media platforms at Sisters Watch, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. We're there, so go support us and go buy our merch. Look how cute it is. We have crop sweatshirts, crop tops, hats, mugs, stickers, everything. So go to our website, go to the shop tab, and go get yourself some merch.
Yes, we want to hear from y'all, so please DM us on social media, comment on our posts, respond to our Q&As and polls on Spotify, leave us a review on Apple. You can even email us at sisterswhowatch@gmail.com. We really appreciate the support. Thanks, y'all.
Everything.
Stay watching.